How you doing?
Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Travis Scott EP mixtape project, not yet so finished final version Owl Pharaoh. Travis Scott is a southern rapper and producer, a 2013 XXL freshman, and a lot of musical doors have been opening for him lately. Mostly opportunities that are good music related. He recently had an appearance on Pusha T's Wrath of Cain mixtape. Of course, he had production credits and a verse on the recent Cruel Summer compilation that Good Music released. Travis does have his own music out there for other people to hear, download, whatever, but lately, much of the exposure that people have been getting to him has been through his beat craft, has been through his production. And Owl Pharaoh essentially changes that, introducing people to Travis's lyrical abilities with him rapping on numerous tracks from this project. Not only that, but he's produced a ton of beats on this thing, as well as co-produced, and has added just extra production to pre-existing beats, like on the beat from the song Blocko, which appeared on the Pusha T mixtape Wrath of Cain, which Travis has put onto this project, added some extra synthesizers, renamed the track. Now, from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, this version of Owl Pharaoh that has been released for free download is not the complete version of the project that will be released later down the road with more features from different rap artists on these tracks. There's one song on here, notably Upper Echelon, which features a verse from 2 Chainz, which gets inexplicably cut out, bringing the song to a pretty abrupt end. However, even though we're not really hearing a full version of this project right now, one that to my ears doesn't even sound like it's at a very high bit rate in terms of sound quality, this has not stopped people who have been praising Travis up until this point from praising him even further. The people over at The Fader seem to love it. The people at XXL, who obviously made Travis a XXL freshman, saw fit to give this project, as it has been released now, an XL rating. So, I mean, I figure I might as well listen to the project as it is right now, as people are talking about it and buzzing about it. And, you know, in a way, I want to give Travis the benefit of the doubt. He has some big names behind him right now supporting his work, and he is making what we're led to believe is going to be some great music with these names in Good Music into the future. There must be something really impressive, I'm thinking, coming down the pipe, because the potential that has been building up for Travis Scott, for me, is not really coming through on Owl Pharaoh. On these tracks, Travis bites numerous MCs across these songs so hard that by the end of the final track on this thing, his teeth must be dull. The beats on this thing range from bangin' to recycling bin, and the lyrics, flow, lyrical content as well is pretty average for, you know, an up-and-coming internet rapper. Track after track, Owl Pharaoh basically has the making of a Dat Piff rap demo that has a few hundred downloads on it. Maybe. Let's take a look at the production first on this project, since it seems to be what is helping Travis make his way. The opening track on this thing, Meadowcreek, while it is a very short song and in a lot of ways kind of a motif and an intro to this thing, it still displays, in my opinion, a lot of flaws. Bland synthesizers that are soaked in reverb and go for something epic but fall awfully short. And on top of it, Travis has all of these weird pitch shifted vocal effects, whether they be chorus effects or just taking a voice, shifting it down a bunch of semitones, and then backing it up behind the normal vocal. This technique calls out to that chopped and screwed tradition that Travis comes from in Texas, but it is executed awfully. So badly, I can't even tell what is being said in the lower pitched vocals, much less the normal vocals when the lower pitched vocals are behind them. He really renders numerous verses on Owl Pharaoh nearly unintelligible. The only thing I really got out of the opening track on this thing is that Travis doesn't really get along with his parents. And while that may be a real problem that he deals with in his life, it is played out very ridiculously at the open of Owl Pharaoh in a way that is ambiguously funny and sad. The song glides into the track Bad Moon, where instrumentally The song really kind of feels like a dinky version of the instrumental from the Watch the Throne track, No Church in the Wild. The synthesizers and horns on this track are so thin and just so gutless. There's no body to them. It's just cheap sound after cheap sound on this project, and on top of it, every idea and every influence that Travis is pulling from is just so blatantly obvious and not really turned around in a way that feels creative, unique. He's not really molding his influences into something that feels like it's coming from him. He's merely just working a musical chop shop on this project, pulling together a lot of knockoffs. On this same track, Travis makes use of that pitch shift effect once again to create some kind of lower voiced counterpoint to the things that he's saying, much in the same way Tyler the Creator has been doing on his recent releases, whether he's talking to some kind of adult figure, authority figure, therapist. As this track gets into its latter half, Travis breaks into what is a pretty cheesy melody with a lyric stating that he can't wait to shit on you. And this moment in the track feels like he's ripping straight from the playbooks of either 808s and Heartbreak or just Kid Cudi. Travis will be rapping and then occasionally break into a singing voice that sounds identical to Kid Cudi's. And, you know, I'm no huge Kid Cudi fan, but I actually give Cudi more props on his lyrical content, and at least his voice, well, it's a little more soulful, and it's his voice. You know, it's not just somebody pretending to sound like Kid Cudi. While I understand Travis may be a fan of some of these people, and of course that's going to come out in his music naturally, but he is literally trying to make his voice sound just like Kid Cudi's. The only thing interesting about this track, and some others on here, is that Travis's production chops allows him to take a track instrumentally and just turn it on a dime at a moment's notice. Just really take a track and change the pace of it, change the flow of it, change the way the instrumental sounds just suddenly. I think that's a cool talent. Whether you're ripping off people or not, that needs vision. I think it is the most unique thing that this project has to offer. However, as Travis is structuring songs and throwing many pieces out there at me, the tracks do end up feeling more disjointed than cohesive. Like the song Hell of a Night, where Travis literally throws a bridge out there before the song even has a chance to establish itself or even a chorus. And the second half of this track just, again, sounds like another Kanye B-side that if Kanye had produced it would never put it on an album. But of course, this is not produced up to that Kanye level. It's a demo of the B-side that would not have made it onto the album. And the track Upper Echelon with T.I. and what will be 2 Chainz, I'm guessing. While I do know there will be a full version of this song on a future iTunes version of this project, still, the ending of this thing could have been cleaned up a little bit. Couldn't it have? Either way, the auto-tune flow that Travis Scott brings to the table on this track just bleeds Future, it bleeds Chief Keef, and the beat bangs. It is loud as hell and incredibly produced, really detailed, it's heavy. It's a pretty badass trap beat, but the reason I'm kind of sad about it is I sort of suspect it bangs this hard because there are 3 other production credits on it aside from Travis's name. When left up to his own devices, you get a track on here like Le Bloc of Flame, where Travis is not only putting boring verse after boring verse over a pre-used Pusha T beat, but he's laying tons of farty, uninteresting synths all over an instrumental that was really perfectly good to begin with. I know initially that Young Chop wasn't happy with how Good Music ended up using the instrumental to I Don't Like and ended up altering the instrumental, but if I were Chop, man, I'd be ripping my hair out at this version of Blocka. The song Naked also brings some really terrible vocal effects. It's a shorter track on this album, but still, it is one of the few moments on this project that does bring a more personal side to Travis, where he is talking about love, dreams, his future, success. This track does bring a little more focus to the table for Travis, but still, it displays his lack of ability when it comes to rapping. Not only are his metaphors and his imagery really weak and kind of lackluster, but when he speeds his flow up on this track in particular, he mumbles through his bars, making them difficult and sort of uninteresting to listen to. Not only that, but when Travis is rapping, even about something that's personal, he is lacking in energy, in passion, just look at the verse that he drops on any track on this project and compare it to the verse that Meek Mill lays onto the track Bands. Meek Mill goes 10 times harder on that verse than Travis does on any verse on this project. As this project continues, Travis introduces one lackluster trap beat after another that is not memorable in any way, shape, or form. Even the songs on here that shoot for really bold, loud choruses are barely even catchy, like the song Dance on the Moon with Theophilus London. The track is sort of a get high anthem with such a tacky melody on the hook here. If you like marijuana and you like alcohol, you should stay away from this song because it might make you want to sober up for the rest of your life. Lyrically, I can't really defend Travis as being anything more than average, anything more than your run-of-the-mill rapper that you're going to run across on the internet. He's not saying anything you haven't heard before. Let's be honest here. Let's not lie to ourselves. Travis isn't revealing magical metaphors and wordplay here that people haven't run across before. Now, outside of that, I am crossing my fingers for some kind of night and day difference between the production and the audio quality on this project and the version that will, I'm hoping, be released onto iTunes of Owl Pharaoh. I'm hoping that the sound quality gets better and that the synthesizers are really just sort of being choked by a low bit rate or something. And that a million samples or so haven't cleared. Future versions of this project aside, there's no denying that Travis doesn't really display a single original idea on this entire project. If he's not pulling from Cudi, he's pulling from Tyler. If not from Tyler, it's Ye. If not from Ye, it's Future. If it's not from Future, it's Chief Keef. If it's not from Chief Keef, it's from a generally Houstonized, chopped and screwed sound. The only thing I can really spot Travis on as far as originality on this project, like I said before, are some of the disjointed surprise song structures on this thing, which don't even really add up into interesting tracks. Unfortunately, I'm feeling a strong 3 to a light 4 on this thing. If you've given it a listen, what did you think of it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Why? What do you think I should review next? And that's it. This video was my opinion. If you don't like it, here's a straw. I want to give a shout out to the girl who saw me at IKEA, Jim Jones, Robert Irvine, the red shorts that I'm wearing right now, and WNPR. Only the strong subscribe. All mistakes were intentional. Travis Scott, Owl Pharaoh, The Needle Drop, Anthony Fantano, forever.